Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again. You know, words have meaning, and you can find each word's definition in a dictionary as a reminder. Now, if you have any doubt on the definition, you can also look at the definition of the words in the definition of the word that you looked, okay? It's very easy. It's very easy. There's no doubt. So each word has a certain exact meaning, and if there's a synonyms, you know, they have different kind of nuances, all right, attached to it, to each meaning of certain kind of terms. Now, I'm going to read you this article, and remember this: words have meaning. So when you attach a word in a sentence, you attached it over there before you thought about using that word instead of another word. So you discriminated against the word and you pushed another word forward because you thought that term will define what you want to say better. Okay? So if you do not think that way, then you should not write articles. Okay? And these guys should be experts in words. So let's go and see. This article comes from Associated Press from November 24th, 2022. I'm going to be, how should I put it? How should I say it? Objective here. I'm not going to pass judgment. I will try not to, even though I have my personal strong opinion and conviction on the issue. Okay? Russian Duma is the parliament. It's not the parliament, it's the lower chamber in Russia. Like you have the House of Representatives, United States of America, not the Senate. Russian Duma gives LGBTQ, quote-unquote, propaganda bill final approval. So let's see what these guys decided. Russian lawmakers on Thursday gave their final approval to a bill that significantly expands restrictions of activities seen as promoting gay rights in the country. Another step in a year-long crackdown on the country's embattled LGBTQ community. All right, we got a few words here that we have to pay attention, okay? So it expands the restrictions, right? So they restrict the rights of a group in a society that through its elected representatives decided that those rights are not expressed by the population due to their representatives' votes. Isn't that the way a democratic society should function? Yes. Now, I don't know what's this all about. I read it, but anyway, let's go further and see what's going on. And LGBTQ community as a whole, all right? Like as a Romanian community, it's a, I don't know, African American community. They're all like a monolithic community. Okay, let me get Paganini again. We'll give you some capricci. The new bill expands a ban on what authorities call, they just call it that way, and I'm quoting, propaganda of non-traditional sexual relations to minors, established by legislation dubbed the, quote-unquote, gay propaganda law. It was adopted by the Kremlin in 2013 in an effort to promote, words have meanings, quote-unquote, traditional values, end quote, in Russia. So traditional values, if you have any doubts what those are, I can give you a list right now, okay? But I think you know what traditional values are. And they defend their traditional values and culture and practices, like Hungary, you know? They have their own traditions, the whole entire country, their entire tradition, culture, right? So they decide how they run their nation, their tribe, okay? And how do you do that? You elect officials, that's the civilized way in a democratic system. You elect your officials and they would vote for different laws and different, what these guys are doing is democracy at work, isn't it? Yes, it is. And then citizens have to respect that. Like, for instance, people have to respect the outcomes of elections. People spoke and you might not like who got elected, maybe it was not your chosen one, but you have to respect that. And that's it. All right? And work within the system. Vote next time in 100 years. And then you can change someone who can do whatever he or she wants for, I don't know, a term of, it depends, House of Representatives 2, 4 years, Senate 6 years, 5 years, 4 years, President 4 years, 5 years, depending on the country and the regulations. Okay? So that's how it means in a civilized society. You respect other people's voices that voted, and then you have to, respect it. But it seems like we have a problem here. It's unacceptable what the population wanted, and their elected representatives voted for them. I don't see mass protests over there by the Russians saying that, hey, you tricked us. Anyway, the new bill expands a ban. I already said that. This year, the lawmakers moved to a ban spreading such information to people age 18 and older, to adults. The bill was approved in the third and final reading on Thursday by the State Duma, the lower house of parliament. It will go next to the upper house, the Federation Council, and then to President Vladimir Putin, whose signature will give it legal force. Democracy works in Russia, seems like. It's the same process here. So, good so far? Are we good? Are we on board? We might not like what these guys are doing, but that's their nation, that's their culture, that's their country. They can come and tell us to change things. Will we? No. We're going to tell them, hey, beat it. This is our country. We run things the way we want it. So I think they have the same right, as soon as they are our equal. If they're not, then we can go and tell them to fucking change everything the way we fucking want it. Otherwise, we're going to fucking smack them. Got it? All right, let's move on. The new bill outlaws all advertising, media and online resources, books, films and theater productions deemed to contain such quote-unquote propaganda, a concept loosely defined in the bill. The 2013 ban was often enacted against any depictions of same-sex unions and used as a tool to crack down on LGBTQ rights, again, rights, groups and activities. Okay, well, violations are punished by fines. If committed by non-residents, they can lead to their expulsion from Russia. The fines range from 100,000 to 2 million rubles, which is $1,660 to $33,000. For some violation, foreigners could face 15 days detention prior to expulsion. All right? So Russia explicitly outlawed same-sex marriages in 2020 by adopting amendments to the country's constitution. Again, due the legal process that, among others, stipulated that the institution of marriage is a union between a man and a woman. Man, if they want it that way, what do you want? I mean, that's their culture. We respect other people's culture, correct? Yeah, and we also respect the will of the majority, correct? Correct. So as of now, democracy works, it seems like, and the will of the people was fulfilled. Now, like in any game and in any society, there are temporary losers and temporary winners. This proportion always changes. The best way to find out the answer in society is, after the mass media pushes the propaganda, to do organize a little referendum. And direct referendums ask people, okay guys, we're going to do this. We're going to do a referendum on this issue, important issue. Not, I don't know, same-sex marriage or, poverty, invasions, declaring war, things like this. Why am I saying that that is not an important issue? An important issue because a country can function just fine with that being hidden, there, promoted. It's not something that, there's some crazies everywhere, but I'm just saying, and you can vote, you can make it a vote. And then people will vote, and after that you're going to say, okay, the next referendum will be in 10 years. And in 10 years, all these, how should I put it, special interest can work on the people and on the children to rechange their brains and the view of the society and vote again. And if you are able to do that in 10 years, you can change this. That's how democracy works. You're not going to do it every year, obviously. I mean, why would you do it every year and not every week? Why do I say 10 years? Because we give sometimes things to change. In 10 years, in 2 years, things might not change, but could. But I give it 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, not too many. Right? A society changes in a generation or two. A generation is considered only 30 years. That's a generation. Not 80 years as we have the life expectancy, or 75 or something. No, it's 30 years. That's how it's considered, or one generation. So I'm very generous saying 10 years. The same thing with the Brexit referendum. It was done. You don't do it now. I mean, if you do it now because you think that people don't have food, and you make the right propaganda, and then they will vote to join again European Union. No, you wait some time. And it was decided that they will not have a referendum. I think that was in Scotland, but that's a different story. But the same way, you can't do it every week. You change things every week. We're not going to work. Woohoo! Who's going to work? Someone. So anyway, this is with the Russians, and as I said, they say traditional values. Well, you know, I'm not obviously those people who are engaged in other kind of sexual activities are not hunted down. As Putin said in many, there's no laws saying that. They tried to push that here a few times, and they said no, there's not, that homosexuality is not criminalized in Russia. Promotion to this kind of how should I put it, to minors, it's penalized by law. And now, do I agree with that? Well, I like as much freedom as possible. I don't like when they try to shame you for having a different opinion just to vote or agree with someone else's, I don't know, different opinion, or may I say it, perversity or whatever. Perversion or something, no? I mean, let's say I like to get engaged in zoophilia, and I will call you, you know, having sex with animals. So I will tell you, hey, you're insensitive because you don't let me marry my, I don't know, cow or something, because we love one another very much, baby. Is that how it goes? So, and then who am I to tell you that? And say, hey, well, that's not, you don't respect my rights to choose. We're adults. My cow is over the childhood period, so let's ask the cow if she wants to me. All right? And again, we can go to incest. And I'm not for it. I'm just saying, incest is, if it's consensual between two adults, who is the state to say no? And why? And so on. Because if you say, well, wait, the studies show that by this kind of situation, you might have children that are going to be, okay, which is a fact. But then, would you let mentally ill people with problems? Again, the study shows that that's a possibility, big possibility. Would you let them? No. Well, you see how it goes? If you can't use it across the board, what are you going to do? You pick and choose? There's no justice, there's no right. So it's tricky. You want to do it? Go in yourself how much you want in any hole you got, or whatever you got, with whomever you want, adult, in your little house, and do whatever you want. You want to hold hands? Go ahead, hold hands. You want to kiss? Go ahead, kiss. I'm not against all these things. But if you want that to be respected by people who see it as wrong, then you have to respect their opinion of seeing that, or their view of seeing that as they want to see it. Don't expect them to love it. And this is what they expect. And if you so, I don't know, dislike, or you so disapproval, you must be, because you are, and they start with a list of name calling and shaming you. Now that's not working. It's not working well for them. Why? Because they're still a minority. It's not working well. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.